Guns, 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 and guns. Welcome everyone to BigGunner81 Live, presented by Applied Arsenal Finishes, BAT Arms LLC, Aglos Munitions, the Range at 355, and the Tier 1 Training Corp. So welcome everybody tonight. Got some cool people in the house tonight. Going to kind of talk a little bit about some different gun topics and things as we usually do here. Don't have anything real solid, but we are going to talk with James in just a moment. First off, we've got in the house with us Liberty Marksman, Ken and Scott.
Hey.
Thanks for being on with us. And we've also got Ryan Wiggins in the house, the world's sexiest three-gunner.
Yeah, buddy.
And we got James Mason, who is, you might know him from behind the scenes of the Three Gun Nation magazine and some other projects, which we're going to get into. Mm-hmm. Also tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about some lubrication stuff. That's why I said lubrication is key to success. I've got some questions that we can discuss on some ideas with our gun cleaning supplies and things like that. So, James, we're going to start off with you here.
Oh, wow. Right off the bat, huh?
Right off the bat. So,
I'll see.
So tell us a little bit about what you do exactly and what your current. We're going to talk about your current project too. I know that, but tell us a little background.
Well, I hang out in hotel rooms. That's why I'm here. No, so I am what some would call a serial entrepreneur and marketer, which means that's all I do. Is I work primarily in the firearms world. So the thing most people know me for is I make Three Gun Nation magazine. But our business also has a bunch of clients in the industry, and that's why I'm here today, is because I'm up here in Oregon with one of them, Columbia River Arms, that most of you now know as Black Hole Weaponry. But this week we will finally be launching their site, which is kind of special because it's got a visual barrel configurator where you can go on and start off with your caliber and then select your length and twist rate, which pulls up a picture. And you go from there and select your gas system, profile for that gas system, threading options or no threading, target crown, and then it goes to your finish with Cerakote, black, machine finish, and it's all, while you're building it, it's showing you what you're building and what your barrel is going to look like when it's done right in front of your eyes. So when you're done, you hit buy and it goes into process. And the past couple of days where they build this stuff, and incredible people doing it behind the scenes. These are perfectionists. Like, they let nothing go by that's not perfect. So it's been nice to work with them. Looking forward to launching it, and they're running a sale at Black Hole Weaponry right now that's 20% off. That'll carry over to the new site when it launches on Thursday. So
there's no coupon code or anything, right?
No, it'll do it automatically.
Awesome.
It better do it automatically. Yeah. It's been a long process building. It turned out to be quite a beast, but the end product's going to make it just beautiful for people to get exactly what they want. And they've got calibers that some people probably never even heard of. Part of the fun of building it was I thought I knew quite a bit about ammo and what's available in barrels, but I come to find out I didn't know anything, because there's some calibers I never even heard of that they do just as easily as the basic ones.
Really? What, for example?
I had never heard of it was a 25 by 45 that is an AR barrel. No idea how some of this goes and works, but they have a huge selection. If I can pull it up here, I'll tell you. I wish. Right now, it's obviously blocked. If I can find how many there are.
Because you're, I think it's slowing down your Wi-Fi when you open other stuff.
Oh, sorry.
No, I just noticed it glitched, and I don't know if it was my end or if it was on your end.
Doc Brown would love the internet here. Put it that way. From 1987.
So, speaking of calibers too, I mentioned this before on the show and stuff. One I've never heard of was the 6mm Hager. Just happened to find out about that recently when I was at Criterion Barrels. one of the barrels that they gave me actually, we didn't realize that it was actually a 6mm Hager barrel, and I'm like, hey, this is kind of cool. It's different. Maybe we'll just build it, you know. So I picked up some brass for it. I still got to get a die set because nobody makes the ammo. You have to hand load it yourself, but it was designed, from my understanding, for like these guys who do like the long range shooting and stuff. Like I don't know a lot about it because I don't do a lot of precision long range type stuff, but it's kind of similar, I think, to the 6-point SPC in some way. I'm not real sure, not real familiar with it yet, but I figured, you know what, I'm gonna build one, learn about it as I go, and try to see if I can share what I learn along the way. And so we're kind of using that with the Massachusetts rifle build because that barrel is a non-threaded barrel, and that's what I was kind of looking for that project. Because unfortunately, there's not a barrel manufacturer in every single state.
Yeah.
Whose make did you say that is?
The what?
Whose make did you say that barrel is?
Criterion barrels.
They're in Wisconsin?
Correct. That's correct, yeah.
So that's a Hader barrel.
No, it's just the cheesehead barrel, as Josh refers to the rifle builds from Wisconsin. He goes, the cheesehead build number 1, cheesehead build number 2. And what I'm referring to, for those who don't know, is that I just posted the video up recently of Josh from Criterion Barrels. He was nice enough to film a little bit of footage for us when we were up there. Unfortunately, I couldn't get out to the range with him that day, so he took liberty to film a little bit for me and for the channel and so forth. So there's a short little, well, it's about 5 minutes or so long at least, video of him talking about his Wisconsin rifle builds that have some components from American Defense Manufacturing and the guys over at Midwest Industries and so forth. But anyhow, so back to what we were talking about with the barrel.
I got a number for you. There are, for the AR-15, there's 28, and then off the 308, the AR-10, there are 7 right now.
Different configurations.
No, those are just the calibers. There's 290,000 configurations.
290,000, damn.
That's the total amount, according to the agents that did the math for me.
So are they custom making the barrel based off that? Because I'm assuming they don't have 29, whatever you said, in stock, 1,000.
They've got 2 sides to the site. One is the common ready to ships, and there's a section on there where they're going to put up one-offs, like they'll do testing and experimenting, or they'll run 3 and only 2 go, and so there's kind of one-off barrels. But you've got RTSs, they're calling them, the ready to ships, and there's I think maybe 20 or so of those that are kind of common configurations.
Okay.
And everything else after that is 100% custom. It doesn't get made until you say what you want.
Awesome.
And every element is your choice.
That's really cool. How soon is the website up and running?
It will be up Thursday. I've got one heck of a night tonight, and then hard day tomorrow, and that thing will go live on Thursday.
And what was the other question I was going to ask? Sorry, go ahead.
What kind of turnaround time are they looking at?
Honestly, I don't know, so I don't want to say something that goes on public record. But it's not overnight, but it's quite the process, because everything is done to spec.
Yeah, building one-offs. I mean, you got to be looking at least a week or so. I would figure at least.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I tell you what, I've only seen.
Maybe that's something. Thanks for telling me that we might want to put on the site. So I should know.
Good point.
So thanks.
Lead time definitely is important to customers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, we got a build going on right now, and we ended up getting the box was labeled right on a Seekins barrel. Yeah, it was said it was the 16-inch, and we opened it up, and it's a 14-inch, and really didn't feel like pinning a brake on it, so we ended up having to get back with DSG.
Yeah, now they're waiting to get a new shipment in. They just
got no stock.
Those barrels too.
Cool. So, speaking of that, yes, one thing too in Illinois here, you know, we always talk about. Oh, Ryan, can we actually hear you? You want to say something so we can test out your audio again?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. It's a little quiet, but let me see if. I'm gonna try to see if we can bump it up at all on our end. Say something again there, Ryan.
Something?
Okay, got it. I think it's... Does he sound louder to you guys?
Kind of quiet.
I just
quiet.
bumped up his audio a little bit on my end. I don't know if that helps.
I
Kind
was
of
just trying to be really loud.
talking loud. Are you on your new laptop or what?
No, it's a new desktop, but I bought this crappy camera. It was like $20. But I had a question for James. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I was just curious. You're saying you got 7 barrels available for the AR-10, the larger platform. Do you remember if 260 Remington was one of them?
I'm looking right now. Yep. So for the 308, you got 6.5 Creedmoor, 338 Federal, 308 Winchester, 260 Remington, 220 Swift, 22 250, 243 Winchester, 7 mil aught 8.
Cool. Thanks, man.
No problem.
By the
And
way, I want to give a
I know
shout
they're
out.
adding stuff all the time. So.
By the way, not to interrupt our line of thought here, but I want to give a shout out to Dr. Bill, who has been on the show in the past, and right now he's been sick, and that's why he hasn't been back on with us. He's having some issues with his eyes and stuff right now, and with his, he has to dialysis and stuff done all the time and whatnot. So, hopefully he feels better soon. So, just wanted to give that shout out to him as well. Sorry, I just something I wanted to say before we forgot to mention it, because that happens to me all the time. I forget important stuff. So, Ryan, you were going to mention something, I think, too, about ITAR. What was that about?
Oh, yeah. Are we ready for that?
I don't know. We can bounce around from topic to topic. I don't know if it really matters.
Well, that's cool. You guys are all familiar with ITAR, right?
I've heard the term before. Doesn't that do with importing and stuff and exporting and whatnot?
Exporting.
Kind of. Yeah. It's international traffic and arms regulations. It's something that's enforced by the Directorate of Defensive Trade Controls, DDTC. And for many years, it's been kind of a gray area where manufacturers and gunsmiths don't really abide by ITAR, which says that if you're making firearms or doing anything with firearms, you got to pay like $2,000 or $2,500 a year for international BS. Well, I know a lot of gunsmiths. I was a gunsmith.
We just lost your audio there, Ryan.
You can't hear me?
A wee bit.
I don't know.
Now you're full, Helen Keller.
Looks like I need to get a new
You
mic.
guys. No, okay, now we're hearing you, I think, again, Ryan.
Alright, I shut down. I had Facebook and YouTube open on my end. Am I coming through okay?
Yeah, you sound fine now to me.
Okay. I'll use bandwidth. Anyways, long story short, no one pays ITAR because it's a bunch of BS. However, on July 22nd, they released a letter specifying guidance on the requirement for firearms manufacturers and gunsmiths to register with the DDTC under ITAR. So as of, it's been around a while, but no one's enforced it. But now they're looking at us under a magnifying glass, apparently. So basically, anyone, let's see here, if you are engaged in the following, if you use any special tooling, equipment, upgrading in order to improve the capability of assembled or repaired firearms, if you're making modifications to firearms that change round capacity, threading barrels, machining or cutting barrels, threading on muzzle brakes, blah, 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 you are now required to pay ITAR, and apparently they're going to be enforcing it. So all the gunsmiths that thread barrels are going to have to start paying ITAR. It's a very hefty fine if you get caught without paying.
But that doesn't affect non-gunsmith types?
Doesn't affect non-gunsmiths. If you have an FFL and you cut metal, you need to pay ITAR.
Even if it's your own personal stuff?
No. If you have an FFL, you are in the business of firearms.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that part. I didn't quite hear you.
You can cut your stuff up all you want, bro. But as soon as you thread a barrel for someone, you got to pay these guys $2,500 just in case that 338 Lapua Magnum you threaded a muzzle brake on for Joe Schmo Bear Hunter makes its way across over into Al-Qaeda hands or some crap.
Wow.
Oh, you're kidding me.
So, yeah, it's $2,250 a year.
That's a very inventive tax.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no joke.
Use
So they
penalty.
can flush down the toilet somewhere else.
So this is the best part, real quick, and then I'll shut up.
No, you can talk all you want. It's fine.
The penalties for violating ITAR are significant. So the penalties for each violation of ITAR can result up to $1 million in fines and 20 years imprisonment.
Oh,
Wow.
shit.
Yep.
So, I know I titled the show tonight about lubrication is the key to success. Something I always used to say. Ken knows this. It's one of my sayings about when I was in the automotive stuff. I haven't tried this yet, but I know Ken and Scott, I think you guys have used this, the Breakthrough Clean.
Yep.
Yep.
So I haven't, like I said, I haven't even touched it yet. I was actually just starting to take my 3-gun rifle apart to clean it, and I wanted to give this a try since I had some that I picked up from NRA show. Also got their their sample of their HP Pro stuff here. I think it's called Battleborn HP Pro lubricant. I'm guessing it's more of like a grease or a thicker lubricant of some sort, but we'll see when I get to try it. Have you guys used that before?
No, that's the thing.
No.
Yeah, they used to grow that.
He had the 2 bottle. He's talking about.
Okay, so you actually have the. That's okay. That's in a bottle. Got it. Is it like a thick oil, or what is that like?
It's a little thicker than the regular oil, but I mean it's hard to tell.
Okay.
But
I thought when I saw it in the packet like this, that it was probably like a grease or like a thin grease, maybe like almost like a lithium or something like that, or I don't even know because I never opened it.
They actually, I think they made this one for competition. It's supposed to outlast the other one like 300% or something.
Right, that's what they were telling me. They're like, yeah, if you do 3-gun, you're gonna want this stuff to try out. So.
Yeah, they do make a grease.
That's Battleborn grease.
Okay, cool. That I have not tried, obviously, either, but it's on my list to see, so I figured I'd talk about it. What do you guys like to use for your cleaners and lubes? This is
Stuff.
Okay.
Well, here's the deal. Like, we were in the field on Sunday. We were setting up, shooting to do some video, and the storm blew in.
Yeah, I saw it.
In no time, we were washed out. I blew our canopy away, so everything got soaked. We got back to the shop, pulled everything apart. The lubricant was still there. It repelled everything.
That's cool.
I mean, we had water pouring out of the buffer tubes when we broke them down. It was just like dumping water out of the fucking rifles.
And like the carbon buildup on this stuff, you just wipe it off with a rag. I mean, it works awesome like that.
What I've done is this stuff really stops the attachment of the carbon. It really doesn't bind to it. Basically, with just leaving that thin layer on there, and I rinse it down with this DPMS stuff called Claw, and it literally almost rinses it off. You let it sit for a little bit and then hit it with another shot of it, and it just runs it right off. Very little brushing at all. But I got to say, it's the Battleborn that's helping keep from binding the parts.
So I'm going to ask James, what is your thoughts on lubricants and stuff and cleaners and whatever? What do you like to use?
Well, half the fun I have is watching people argue about it. I just find it very entertaining. I mean, every 3-4 months, something just blows up, and there's another oil argument, and friends are lost, and no one makes any money. But
it's the Ford Chevy battle.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of.
I gotta admit, I'm a traditional CLP person, and people would be like, you're crazy, but I don't actually get to shoot competitively very much because I'm the other guy. But what I got with the Marines has kind of stuck with me, and I really like it. I used the something from the Lucas Outdoor line. I hate that I can't remember exactly which one it was, but I used it about 2 weeks ago from a sample bottle I had, and very impressed. And one of the things that I liked about it was it stuck to where you were putting it. So I hate oiling something and then wiping it off everything else as it drains and goes every direction, no matter how little you put on. But that stuff just stuck to right where it's supposed to be, and I was impressed.
I've noticed that with like one of the first things I started using was a Safari Land CLP, and I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. I'm getting some feedback from you, Ryan. Sorry. I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, you know, it foams up and it kind of like forms a nice film. But then you realize, even after you wipe it off with like a microfiber or whatever you clean it off with, it oozes out of all the pores
everywhere.
And
it's got to stay where it's supposed to be, otherwise it can't do its job. You know?
Exactly. So I wasn't as impressed after a little while of realizing that. The other one I wasn't super impressed with, and I think it has a use, I guess, is the Hornady One Shot. I think it's called. They're a gun cleaner. It's a dry lube. For most of the stuff that I do, well, one, I don't like the smell of it very much. That's a personal preference, and everybody has their own things they like and they don't like. Just like anything, like you pick out what kind of toothpaste you brush your teeth with. You know, some people like frog lube for that. I guess I heard it smells minty or something. But anyway, I never used it myself. But anyway, the Hornady One Shot dry film, it does a nice job not leaving the oily, greasy mess, and it probably does do a little bit of lubricant, but I don't feel that, like, in certain parts of your firearm that it really leaves enough lubricity for it. You know? I remember when I cleaned up one of my pistols with it, and, you know, after a little bit of a range session, having the slide starting to stick just from all the crud that built up on it and stuff. Sorry, I was reading the internal chat here. That's awesome. Anyway, so yeah, I'm still kind of developing what I like to use and everything myself. I mean, I have a few different brands of stuff. Someone mentioned on gun channels about the using rem oil and lithium grease and stuff. And honestly, I started using rem oil also a while back. Actually, I think that was actually maybe the first one I used. I don't remember. I kind of had a couple different things I bought around the same time. And the rem oil is okay. I mean, it's fine. Depends on what you're using it on, I guess. But I'm kind of experimenting with some new stuff for the AR and seeing what I want to try out. And I've got something else here that I'm going to be trying out too. I mentioned last week. It's called Ogre. Basically, they got their firearm cleaner and their lubricant. I'm going to see what that's all about and what it kind of smells like too, because, you know, when I say smell, I know a lot of people who, when you use like these solvents and oils and stuff, some of them have a pretty nasty odor to them, and some don't. You know. So, Ryan? What's your take on that stuff?
Dude, I could talk about lubricants for hours. But, you know, I didn't go through it very long, but
talking about for firearm.
It's important to use the foam cleaner when you're done.
Not the gun lube sold at Walmart. I missed what James said. But over the past 2 years, I've discovered a couple things. One of which we all know after the whole fire clean thing is that 100% vegetable oil will do an outstanding job at keeping carbon built up.
Yeah.
That being said, there's a lot of engineering going on. Am I frozen?
No, you're okay.
There's a lot of engineering going on with these companies. Everyone's trying to, you know, make the best lube with detergents and all sorts of things to prevent carbon building. And that's awesome. There's a lot of really awesome products out there. But I'm getting to the point where it's like, okay, what lube smells the best? What lube conditions my hands?
Yeah.
You know? And which one is owned by really cool people? But I just want to add something for the listeners. You were talking about rem oil, okay? Rem oil is a decent lubricant. You know, I rank it down on the bottom. But with rem oil, dude, just be really careful when you're spraying that stuff in the aerosol, because it has this silicone stuff inside of it that is really, really nasty stuff when you get into your respiratory system. It goes into your lungs and it doesn't come out. That's why there's 6 paragraphs of warnings on the back of rem oil.
Wow.
So just make sure you're using that aerosol stuff in a well-ventilated area, man, because it's nasty. It's hard to smell. You can't feel it, but you're building up silicone inside your respiratory system. I'm not all about that. I'd rather have goopy hands, you know.
I agree. That's a valid point because I noticed that with some of the cleaners, you just don't feel that great after using them sometimes, and it's probably because of that. Just you're probably breathing in a little bit of vapors from it because that stuff you can spray it in a little area, like you're kind of saying, and I'll still like feel it. Like if I'm not spraying it directly on my hands, I'll still feel like I got some of it on my forearm or whatever. You know what I mean? It just leaves like a mist that kind of covers everything in the near vicinity.
Yeah, so after cleaning guns for a living, basically, I have a certain way of cleaning guns. And it involves a toothbrush and compressed air.
Okay.
So eyedroppers and toothbrushes are my best friends.
By the way, one of the guys on gun channels, Everrace is his name on there. He mentioned, isn't bacon grease the most patriotic thing to use?
Okay, that may be. He is absolutely correct. However, I filled my 5.56 hollow points in my everyday carry rifle with bacon grease. On like day 4, my truck started to smell funny. And by day 7, I smelled like I had a dead cat under my seat. So if you use bacon grease, it went away. It eventually went away. I don't know if it was cooked off by the Arizona heat or what. But if you use bacon grease for the first like 10 days, it's going to smell like rigor mortis. So
Can I be honest with you right now?
I didn't realize rigor mortis.
That actually wasn't your rounds. We actually killed a hooker and had no place to put it, so we hid it in your truck. It was there for about 7 days before we.
Was this one of the midgets that you're doing coke off of?
Yeah.
Was that must have been in Florida? I don't remember Florida.
Yeah. It wasn't actually grease on the round.
Nice. But I know one of the two things you can say. The bacon grease, doesn't that also have like a acidic value in it too that might cause sorry, I was going to mute your mic there, Ryan, because I was getting some feedback. Doesn't the bacon grease have some acidic or like salts or something in it that might cause corrosion too?
Probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't use bacon grease as a lubricant.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not a good idea.
Yeah, I think it would be. But I know people like
Disclaimer.
the issue of like, or I don't know, novelty. I don't know what the correct term is of putting it in like the hollow points, like you're mentioning, stuff like that. You know, I've heard that before, but using it for an actual lubricant, probably not the best idea.
No, you gotta use the blood.
Yeah, there you go.
You guys are talking over each other. I didn't hear what you guys said. Ken, what are you saying?
Nothing.
All right, then.
No, the problem with bacon grease and fats like that, man, is I think the right word is emulsify.
Yeah.
I think after a little while, it turns into a solid.
Yeah, I think you're right about that too.
But it's good to know
After about
that
10 days.
It tastes good. You know, it's good for lubricating your intestines.
Right on.
I just had a BLT. It was wonderful.
And then at PM.
I'd hate to be not able to eat that. BLTs are weird because you don't realize how much you love them until you have them again, and you're like, damn, I should have this every day. But then you forget, and then you realize when you have one again, I really should be eating these more.
Nice.
Your cardiologist definitely.
Bro, I didn't hear that, sir.
You guys are breaking up there, Ken. Say it again.
I said your cardiologist definitely wants you to eat more, so he's got a steady paycheck.
Yeah.
Well, that cardiologist, got done, and he was, when he was doing his little thing, he was like, you might feel some pressure, and I did, but I'm not going there again. I don't see what that had to do with my heart.
Oh, geez.
Did he use bacon grease?
Yeah.
So, by the way, Ryan, I think that Ken and Scott are just lagging. I don't know if it's you so much. I think it's their.
All right, cool.
Yeah, because you seem to be coming in okay, other than having some feedback once in a while. No big deal.
Yeah, I'll buy a different mic.
Sounds good. So, speaking of patriotic stuff and America. I know those that follow me on Instagram and on Instagram, which is instagram.com/BigGunner81, or you can just follow it on your phone on Instagram. You've probably seen pictures of this. It is the lower receiver from Juggernaut Tactical. It is beautiful. It is Cerakoted in sniper gray, and you can see it's got the American flag etched into it, laser etched. You can actually see a video that I copied off of their Instagram to share with you guys, showing the logo being engraved with the laser engraver on the receiver. But a couple things I want to point out too about this that make it really cool. By the way, they're out in California, so if I didn't mention that, this is part of the California build for the 50 states of AR-15. Some of the cool features that they have: one, it has an ambidextrous bolt release. Kind of a cool feature for those that haven't seen these before. The way it works basically is there's a little pin, like a little stainless steel pin, that goes in right behind the plunger and spring for the bolt release or bolt catch. And when you push in on the ambidextrous release, it basically dislodges the bolt carrier group by pushing on the bolt release. So pretty simple design. A couple other things about it, besides it being a billet receiver. Of course, they've got the really cool threaded rear detent spring retainer, I guess. How am I trying to word it? It's basically where they have the set screw in there that retains your rear takedown pin detent spring, so this will go flying out when you take your stock off. Also, they use a threaded bolt release pin, so you don't have to worry about hammering it in and scratching up your receiver, which is really cool. They also added the tensioning screw down here underneath your grip, so you can adjust the tension between the upper and lower receiver on it as well. So very cool features, very nicely made and very nicely machined receiver. I was very impressed. I am very impressed with it. So I want to share that with you guys, and you guys will see more of this in the project coming up in the future too.
Hey Rick, can I give you a word of advice?
Sure.
That little stainless steel set screw you got in the back end of your receiver, keeping your takedown retainer, spring, pin, whatever you want to call it. Yep. Don't use Loctite on that.
No, I haven't. I figured the plate's holding it in place, so I don't have to worry about Loctite on that.
Exactly.
But I will use some blue Loctite on the pin for the bolt catch for sure. Just because my thought is, if that thing ever friggin' backs out, I don't know how easy those are to find anywhere to buy them, for one. So, plus your bolt release, you kind of want that functioning anyway. So
yeah. Once it's in there, it doesn't need to come back out.
That's true too, unless you're change something up or whatever. But yeah, once it's in there, you don't need it to come out. So I'm just gonna put some blue Loctite on it anyway to hold it in place. That's what I did on my F1 receiver, I believe, and on the MGS Firearms receiver also. But this build's going to be pretty cool for California. I'm really excited. It's getting pretty close. But you're going to see a video first for the Wisconsin build coming up first. I'm not doing it in any particular order, by the way. For those that are wondering, why am I doing California, why am I doing Wisconsin? It's kind of just an order of parts accumulation for each one, and things like that, Different opportunities pop up at different times, so I don't really see a need to have to go through alphabetical order or anything on the states. It's just basically do as they come and do one for every state where possible and use as many components where possible. One of the things that came up too recently about the project is, for example, like Massachusetts, I'm going to be using the Luth AR fixed stock for that build. Now, Luth AR is out of Minnesota. Why am I using it in Massachusetts for the Massachusetts build? Because the build, for one, it's going to be kind of a precision rifle build, so to speak, and I haven't been able to find a fixed stock from Massachusetts that would really fit that project very well. Sure, I could find fixed stocks like an A2 style stock, but I haven't found anything else. And if someone knows of something, let me know. Write it up on the Facebook. Let me know on the comments on this video, something. Just get a hold of me and let me know what's out there if I'm not aware of it. Because that's something else. Cool thing about the project, it's flexible. I can always go back and make changes to the rifle or whatever later on. The whole idea is to show people the options of the parts that are available for the AR-15 and also show all the manufacturers from around the country and where they hail from, so to speak, and bring it all together in rifle builds for each state. that kind of thing, and give some of the history behind the companies where I can. That's the other part of it too. Like, I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to meet with the guys from Wisconsin because they're semi-local to me, so I was able to take a trip up there, and I had the time available that I could do it, and get to do some interviews one-on-one, which you all may have seen on the YouTube channel here, and also up in Minnesota just recently. We posted up a couple videos from visiting TACOM and Luth AR and stuff. So that's been something I want to do, is whenever the opportunity comes up to visit a manufacturer, to go and set up an interview with them and to kind of show maybe some of their background to their business, and also some of the processes that go into making the products that we all have. So anyway, kind of got off on a tangent with that project, but it's something I'm excited about, I'm very passionate about, and I look forward to bringing it to everybody out there so they can see all this stuff. It's really cool. I've enjoyed making the videos for sure. So, I don't know if you guys have any questions about that, or any comments, or any thoughts.
Well, it's probably smart to be doing California and certain states like that while you can, because, I mean, 50 rifles might take a wee bit.
Yes.
And you want to make sure that you get some states in while you can.
That's a great point. That's why I kind of started with it. I was surprised, like Massachusetts, I knew they had really strict laws, but all of a sudden that thing popped up recently where, like, I don't know, Attorney General or somebody changed the rules or whatever it is, I don't know. So that kind of threw us for a loop with that. I don't know how it's going to affect getting any of the parts from the few manufacturers that are in that state. As of right now, I have the receiver set from there. I have a grip that's made in that state. The barrel, of course, is not, and the stock is not. Like I said, some of the projects, some people say, well, that kind of breaks your rules of your project. Well, not exactly. I'm saying where possible. Sometimes there isn't a possibility of finding a barrel from that state, or one that fits the project properly. You kind of have to kind of follow that along too, because, you know, if I'm building a precision rifle, so to speak, I don't want to build it like a 3-gun rifle, you know, and mismatch stuff. I kind of want it to kind of flow. At least that's my thought process behind it. And I want to say thank you to all the companies and the people that have helped support the project. Been very fortunate that for the interest that has brewed from this. It takes a lot of talking to people and a lot of work to bring this to everybody. The filming, the video editing, the traveling when I can. Of course, building rifles. Of course, I love building rifles, but it still is something that takes my time to do when I enjoy. So, what was the other part I was going to say? Yes, I want to thank all the companies. Like, I'll probably miss somebody, so I apologize. But like the guys, American Defense Manufacturing, Midwest Industries, Criterion Barrels, MGS Firearms, Luth AR, TACOM, Spin to Precision out of California, Strike Industries, guys, Juggernaut Tactical. We got a long list of companies. In fact, Hyperfire, I'm sure you guys have seen their triggers. They just signed on for the Minnesota rifle build. I have one of their triggers coming for that project as well. So unfortunately, I can't afford to buy all the parts to make this happen, because imagine 50 rifles. That's a massive amount of rifles. We're looking at easily $50,000 in rifles if you are buying individual parts at retail pricing. So I wouldn't be able to do this without them, you know.
So what are your plans for Rhode Island? Are you going to make like a little short, small thing?
You know, I haven't even gotten that far, and that's where I leave it always open of where possible. That's my caveat.
I'm not sure where you're going to get many parts from there, but never know. There might be someone there.
You know,
if you do, you got to make it an SBR.
Or like a little Zoolander gun, like just.
Nice. I don't know. Like that's one of those things I haven't. It's one of those things. It's like when I get to that bridge, I'll try to cross it. If not, the other option is, I don't know if I have it down here or not. I was working on this the other day. The mold your own AR-15 receiver with AR-15.com. That's an option, or an 80% lower receiver, you know, and just make a receiver in honor of that state. Maybe etch it with you know, the state outline or something or whatever. I don't know. There's
probably got some badass motto or something, you know.
Exactly. Come up with some slogan like for that state or whatever. But that's where I really enjoy making videos and stuff too, because the creative aspect sometimes that we can do. Although I'm not always the most creative person, of course, but I enjoy it. It's fun, and I like bringing this to people so they can see it and learn about stuff as I'm learning about it. Because I don't know, obviously I don't know everything about it. I just know about firearms. Not an authority of whatsoever. I just enjoy this stuff, and I want to share my things that I've learned along the way with people and experiences and stuff. And I've had a lot of great ones this year. And I know Ken and Scott have as well, especially like NRA show. That was a blast.
Yep. That was awesome.
But getting to shoot full auto for the first time earlier this year with Tresna Defense, another company that is supporting the project, is the 50 States of AR-15 project as well.
We got Georgia there covered.
Yeah, well, I got their handguard.
Georgia.
I'm working on the rest of that rifle too. It's just you know, all these things do take time, and it takes a lot of communication to find all the components and also researching who is where. You know, you type in on Google search, right? You type in like AR-15 California. You get retailers. You get some companies that are not in California. You get a whole mix of stuff, and you gotta sort through all of it and figure out who's where. I don't know. Maybe there's an easier way that I'm not aware of, but I'm just trying to learn it and figure it out.
You could ask me for my list.
Yes, send me your list. Email it to me.
When you're at NRA, did you pick up the book?
Which book?
There's a book that's a directory of all the companies that were exhibiting, with the address and all that stuff. I got a few extra if I need to send you one, but it's
I'll have to look and see. I picked up a bunch of stuff. I don't know if I kept that one or not, because honestly, yeah, I picked up so much stuff at different events that like certain things like brochure, like not brochures, but like basically indexes and directories. I don't usually hang on to them. Maybe it's a bad idea. Now that I'm doing this project, maybe it'd be a good idea to start doing that. But you know, didn't really think much of it, and I always wanted to carry around some big heavy book with me or whatever. So that's kind of why I probably didn't do it.
Well, I got a pretty big list. I can email you.
That'd be awesome.
I don't know how accurate the emails are because that always changes, but
true.
I think it sorts by state.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it. Any help I can get. In fact, some of the companies I talk with and the contacts I talk with, I'll ask them, hey, do you know anybody in your state that you could recommend that I talk to about this? Because obviously, like I said, this type of project, I can't fund it myself. It's impossible. No one else has done it, and I know of, and I want to do it. I think it's an awesome thing to be able to showcase all these different manufacturers from across the country and what state they hail from, and do it in a rifle build, showing off their products. And then I've been asked too, like, and you guys can make any recommendations or suggestions on this. What should we do with all the rifles when I'm done building them? You know,
go art gallery style.
What's that?
Go art gallery style. You know, just put them up on the walls and people can come and look at them.
I would love to do that. I actually would love to do that. Like my thought was too, like even finding someone who wants to do a display with them for maybe like NRA show or a SHOT Show or something. You know, something big.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Or maybe even
traveling exhibit.
What's that, Ken?
I said a traveling exhibit. That'd be perfect for the shows.
It would be very cool. Now,
I think you could probably even get a hold of like the NRA Museum, because I think that would be a really they may even be interested in all 50 of them, because that's one of those things that they would love to display it. So it's a rifle from each state that was assembled with parts from each state. I think that's more the way you got to go with it. Finish end of it. Keep them all together. Don't try to give one off or separate the 50, because it's going to take you more than a year to do it. So I mean, you could even propose this by SHOT or by NRA next year. You know what I mean? It's going to take longer than that to get the whole thing completed. But once it's done, it's going to be a
collection. Once it's
a huge play, and you can, with the list of vendors and everything that you put into it, I think it's going to be a really cool project.
Right, and I know there's a few of them that I'm definitely not going to give up, because like ones that are really special to me, like my Wisconsin rifle is very special because like MGS Firearms, they're personal friends of mine. They've been on the show here, you know, for a long time. They actually helped me get this started. I mean, they were on here like day one.
By the time you get 50 of them built, they're all going to be your favorite.
You know what? I'm starting to see that trend too, but I know like there's going to be a few that I'm not going to want to get rid of, obviously, but
like women.
I don't know about that, but uh, my thought too was like you're saying, keep them all together. I've had people asking like, one, there's a lot of, don't get me wrong, I put a lot of money into this too, not only for the filming aspect of it and my time and the traveling and all that, but I do buy a lot. I do buy a lot.
I wouldn't give it away. I wouldn't give it away. I wouldn't give it away. I'm sure they would pay money, good money, if they had each rifle in a small display, or if it was a case by the time you get all done with. If you've got 50 rifles sitting there, each one's built the way you want to do the project, somebody will, if you market it right, you'll get your money out of it, and you'll buy any AR you want.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we'll see how it all goes. I mean, like I was saying before, each one of these rifles I'm putting money into myself. It's not like I'm getting everything from everywhere for free. People think
it's an absolute best. I mean, it's just, even our channel, it's an absolute investment into putting out that quality product and being able to show people what this stuff is. It's not a cheap venture. You took off a huge project. I mean, it is. But like I said, you keep at it, they'll knock them out. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, honestly, if all else fails on my personal collection when I started this project, I think I still had like 11 of the states covered, because every time I bought one, I made sure it was a different state, because that was just something I kind of thought of when I was originally getting into ARs. I'm like, this would be kind of cool to have one that's different, not the same of any one of them,
Right.
But then I kind of got this idea. I said, this would be freaking awesome to be able to show the unity of our country with the manufacturers. Because there's so many, you guys know this, how many of these manufacturers work with each other behind the scenes to produce these products. There's only so many barrel companies, and like I've said, and bolt carrier groups are one thing too. Like, there's only so many companies that are producing them, and so forth. And there's a lot of rebranding and a lot of shared things between companies and companies that buy stuff from each other all day long. That goes on, and that's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think it's great, and it's also part of what kind of founded America. I mean, the whole thing of industry, manufacturing and machining and stuff. I think that's just awesome. And from what I've been hearing, the manufacturing industry, which kind of was affected by overseas production, I'm starting to hear that it's starting to come back in our country more and become stronger. And I think that's a great thing. And I think that when it comes to firearms, that's our Second Amendment. What's more patriotic and American than the manufacturing friggin' firearms? So it's a lot of fun. But I've had a lot of questions. And I've had people that laugh about it. But people say in my idea, they laughed. So really, you're gonna do that, And you know what? I'm doing it. So too bad. That's how it goes. And if I don't get help from companies at all, I'm still gonna buy stuff. It's just gonna take a lot longer to get it done. It's gonna take years.
People are always gonna criticize, but they're not doing it.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, exactly. I get criticized and stuff, and you'll see it. There'll be haters out there on YouTube and on my Facebook and stuff sometimes.
No, they're just jealous.
True.
They're not doing what they want to do with their lives, so they bitch about yours.
Well said. And I've been blessed with this experience and all the things we've gotten to do this year. Like I said, shooting full autos with Trezor Defense. You guys, American Defense Manufacturing, they brought us out to come up and do some filming and shoot some full autos with them, which was an awesome experience, and to get to check out their facility. SHOT Show this year, I never would have thought I would have gotten to go to SHOT Show, especially in my situation with other things outside of the gun world. I had the time, but the money was the issue, but I made it happen, and I'm glad I did. Also got to go out and do some awesome shooting events, and film that stuff to show people what it's like, because there's so many people out there that, they may know about going to a local gun range or an outdoor range somewhere and shooting at a target that's not moving, and they maybe kind of heard of 3-gun or a competition of some sort. They don't know what it's like. So I said, you know what? I want to show people that this is what 3-gun is like. This is what practical rifles like, USPSA, whatever event it is, what it's like from a first-person perspective, and to show them that anybody could do it. I'm not the greatest shooter, I am just who I am, and it's a lot of fun, and I want people to know that, so that we get more people into the shooting sports and more people into the firearms realm of things. So that's kind of my little rant, I guess. But yeah, I'm really, the 50 States AR-15 project is something that's really close to me, and I think it's an awesome thing to do, and it's fun. I enjoy talking with all these people that are behind the scenes in these different companies and bringing out their stories when I can. You know, getting to hear about how someone started out like in manufacturing and then started a fairly large company, sells it off, and starts a new company out of it. You know, how someone wasn't basically working for other companies and decided to strike out on their own and made it into something that's like known. It's cool.
But my first boss in this industry was Marty Daniel, and he was doing garage doors and construction, and along with Ashley Burnsick came up with this little sling loop for the back of your receiver. Went to SHOT Show with that on the table and a sign that said, "Buy my rifle loop." And now look at it, you know. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, made it something quite amazing. Even when I got there, it was in this shared office building with the warehouse and what looked like storage buildings till you got in there, and old house for the engineering, and then we moved to that big, huge building where they're at now, and they've expanded from. But it started from very humble beginnings. I mean, we were doing conferences on plastic Walmart tables, you know. So it's.
Hey Ryan, what was that link you just were talking about?
Oh, I put that up for you. That's his link. Sorry.
No, yeah, the Ryan Wiggins is posting something about 3-gun or NRA. Oh, Ryan, you're muted still. Got to unmute it so you can talk again.
Damn it. I'm out of timeout now. You're talking. I think you do a great job, Rick, at showing people the sports and a little different look at the industry with your show and your videos and stuff. And on that note, I wanted to talk about something that I just discovered today that I had never heard of, and that is the NRA shooting sports 3-gun experience. The NRA has launched this program, looks to be sponsored by Smith & Wesson, and it's for match directors and clubs to get involved and host one of these events. And it consists of bringing people in, like novice shooters basically, and showing them the sport of 3-gun through first airsoft or 22s and small caliber stuff, and then moving into larger caliber stuff just to bring them into the sport. And I saw this today, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the 3ge.nra.org, the 3-gun nation. I'm sorry, the 3-gun experience, NRA 3-gun experience. Said that wrong because I'm so used to saying 3-gun nation. But yeah, I was kind of looking at their website to kind of show everybody this as well. Yeah, the NRA actually does have a lot of things to offer that people are not aware of. You know, when it comes to different aspects of shooting. I couldn't tell you all about them because I don't know everything. This is the first time I'm actually going to look at this, but I think I've heard about it before. But what was this? Like the competitive shooting? Is there something I can click on here? I don't know.
You're not on the right site there.
Oh, am I not?
No. They have their own. There you go.
Oh, maybe I clicked the wrong. Okay, so let me scroll down here. All right. Cool. Started in the early 80s. Yeah, that's what we were talking with Tennille from 3-Gun Nation about that one time. When I had like not very much of a clue at all, and I still am learning about 3-gun. So
they had Soldier of Fortune matches back even in the late 70s.
Yeah, that's what she was saying about it. The Soldier of Fortune is how it kind of got its start.
Yeah, they showed up with their beanies and black vests and did it.
Yeah, and even in that, there's still an argument because some people say it started in Las Vegas and some people say it started in Arizona, somewhere around the late 70s, early 80s. Guys run around the desert and shooting targets with all 3 guns.
Well, that's kind of splitting hairs there with Vegas and Arizona. It's kind of like, which side of the line did you fall over on?
Right. I heard they brought back a three-gun match, or a Soldier of Fortune style three-gun match somewhere on the East Coast, I think. And I think it sold out in a couple minutes. I still haven't even heard about it officially on social media, but I was talking with some shooters up at the Colorado State Championship, and they were telling me about it. So someone's bringing it back.
That's cool.
Where's that at?
I don't know the specifics. Sounds pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie though. I like shooting on grass bays with hair gel. You know.
You know what I thought was the coolest thing I saw recently was when Ryan Wiggins was ziplining and shooting with his pistol. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, Iron Man was that was one hell of an experience, my friend.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be physically up to that myself, but I think that was pretty awesome.
I saw some footage this week of a big match that was in the Philippines, and looks like they got themselves a zipline thing going too. It's not quite as long as the Iron Man. It's kind of a mini-me of that, but pretty impressive to see them building that out there.
Cool. What else do you want to cover? I guess we'll go ahead and, I don't know if any of you guys have anything else you want to talk about tonight. Cover up, before we wrap everything up. I guess I'll say, Ken and Scott, you guys got any projects in the works you want to talk
Well, there's so many going. Picking a direction to.
Sorry, you were kind of breaking up there a second.
Yeah, they're cutting.
So we got a ton of stuff going on. Getting time and picking a direction.
Oh, I got you. Tell me about that with the time. When it people don't realize this too with YouTube and making videos. It takes a lot of time for filming and editing and making each one of these projects. The video could be like 3 minutes long or 5 minutes long, and you could spend half hour or more filming it, depending on how many takes you do and how many times you screw something up or whatever. And then you have to sit down and edit it and watch it, and then you got to watch it again when it's all done. And I know James and me were talking about this before about video editing, and he's like, "Yeah, you should trim a little bit more off this. You can trim more." And I sat there.
From Pete Brown, cut it less.
Yeah, sometimes less is more. I have a hard time with that. I'm still learning how to try to effectively edit stuff and so forth, but it's a lot of fun, no doubt.
What are you using? What software? What software are you using to edit your videos?
That's a great question. Actually, what I'm using is called Cyberlink Power Director. It's not a very fancy software. It's what Patrick from One Shot Kill It Media is using. He actually recommended it because I was looking for something inexpensive that I have to pay a monthly fee on all the time. So I went with Cyberlink Power Director for that reason. But it's not horrible. It does a lot more things than. Let me put it this way: it has a lot more features than what I've used so far. I'm still kind of learning them. But the downside I've had is sometimes it freezes up and so forth. So that's the downside of the software as far as it'll freeze sometimes.
Dude, I've had really good luck with the GoPro stuff.
What's that?
I've had good luck with the GoPro software.
Yeah,
It's really basic, but it's free.
That's cool. Now, is it something you can download for free, or do you have to have a GoPro to use it?
No, you just go to GoPro.com and download the GoPro Studio Editor or whatever it's called. Actually, that video I just posted on your timeline because you posted a music video for my favorite song right now, so I posted my 3-gun video that I made with that song in it.
Oh, that's right. Yes, and I remember. You know what? I remember hearing that video.
That 7-minute video took me like, I don't even know, man. I probably spent like 6 hours on that thing.
Exactly. It's like
I don't know what I'm doing, so.
Right. You have to like watch the video and figure out what parts of the video you want to use and cut them and edit them and you have to do it over and over until you figure out exactly how you want it, and then James will tell you got to trim more.
Pack it.
So, yeah, no, I know he's not wrong. So, Adobe, $50 a month. Yes, I know it's on my list.
That's 50 in the world.
I want. When my channel can support paying for it every month, then I'm gonna do it. Although it could be a catch-22. It could be if I don't buy the Adobe every month, am I not going to get my channel to be able to afford the Adobe? I don't know.
You just have to, just cut out one midget a month and you'll be good.
One midget.
How much are you spending on her? I mean, should be fine.
I don't spend money on midgets, but I do spend it on AR-15.
Yeah.
He's a realist.
Nice. So, Ryan, you got anything else you want to throw out there before we wrap things up?
No, I don't think so. Thanks for having me on. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you on. I mean, I know you've been kind of busy in the time zone thing, or whatever kind of screws with us, the daylight savings time or something you said, in CrossFit.
That's all right. I'm going to an earlier class now, just so I can be here for you and myself, because it's fun.
That's cool. So, James, you got anything else you want to throw out there? Anything interesting in 3Gun Nation magazine, by the way?
Well, 3 Gun Nation magazine's shipping out, so everybody should have it. The one with Keith on the cover, and the next one will be starting probably next week. So this one was a little bit later than most, but we're gonna be caught up on the next one. And this last issue has a review by Ryan in it. He went to the. I just realized after it went to print that you put Florida, but you actually got that in Alabama. But you went to Alabama because I took a picture of you.
Oops.
Yeah, I didn't notice that till after it had gone to print. But so yeah, because I got a picture of you holding it, and I didn't go to Florida. So he picked up a Rage fully adjustable brake at the price table, and then went back and did a full review on it, which was really well done actually. So that's in that issue.
Is that the UM Tactical one that you
got? Yeah, UM Tactical Rage. If you want to talk about just a hair, you can. Or do you just want to save that?
What?
Save it for the readership?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I really enjoy the muzzle brake. That was the first time I walked the price tables, and there were still guns on the table. And I saw a couple of those things hidden, and I grabbed one, man, because I was intrigued. The owner of the company was hosting this double tap challenge, where whoever made the tightest group won the double tap challenge. I forget what he was giving away. It might have been a muzzle brake. But I told him, I was like, man, I'm really not interested in the double tap challenge. I'd rather talk to you on like an engineering level, so I can understand what you're doing here, because I'm a gunsmith. And he's like, all right, cool, let's get technical then. And he explained the whole process to me. And it's a pretty cool concept. You know, there's a lot of awesome muzzle brakes out there, but for a muzzle brake to offer you, like, I think it's like 2,000 different combinations of gas direction you can do. I don't think there's anything else out there that offers that many variables, you know. But it's been running pretty good so far. It's loud, it's gassy, makes my hands black because I got all the gases directed backwards. So I like it.
That's cool.
Hope you guys like my review.
No, that's awesome.
I try to be honest.
Black hands matter like that.
So so with the magazine, if anybody's listening to this and has been reading, going, I wish they'd write about this, well, that person that's going to do it is you. So if you want to do something and you want to get published and you want to promote your sponsors, say what you think about anything, write something up and send it in, because we'd much rather have everybody write in it than assume we know what people want to hear.
So what if I have an idea, but my writing skills suck?
Can you draw pictures?
Draw pictures? Like, if I draw stick figures?
It might be kind of fun. Who knows?
All right.
Yeah.
Draw some stick figures of 3-gun stuff.
Point the stick this way, and then point it that way, and then point it that way again. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk to you about that. Maybe we'll figure something out for that project.
I'm really looking for someone who's extremely good at stippling to write a awesome 3-part series on how to do it right. One for pistol, rifle, and shotgun, for everything that might need it. I'm just looking for someone who's really good at it and wants to write. So if you know somebody, let me know.
I did a magazine once.
How'd that go?
Good, actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I actually did. But I was joking around, but I did actually do one. I did a thermal mag that I took just an old soldering iron that I had with an old piece of crap tip for it, and just went at it, dot, 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 a million friggin' dots, and came out pretty damn nice. I like it.
I did my wrist once when I was trying to do it.
Was that in prison?
Yeah.
We're not supposed to talk about that, Ken.
I've moved on. I need the people in my life to move on as well.
No.
Yeah, I don't want to get your stippling in prison.
Oh, man.
I think it's a different definition.
There's a whole nother
so,
topic of conversation, or list of topics we can have conversations on about that from watching different things, life. But anyway.
But, so yeah, always looking for people to write. So if you guys know someone, let me know. And thanks for having me on. And Thursday, so check it out. It'll be 20% off through this weekend, I believe. And so if there's a barrel you've been needing, you want it exactly how you want it, get it now and save some money.
I might have to do that. We'll see. What's the website address?
It'll be ColumbiaRiverArms.com.
Got it.
If you go there right now, it's just got a little warning because the IPs are blocked, so we can make everything work.
Got it. Cool. Well, thanks again, James, for being on with us.
No, thank you.
And hopefully,
nice
and Ryan, as always, thank you for always. Thank you for and Ken and Scott. I know I hear myself in the background somewhere I'm coming across, but check him out, Liberty Marksman. Right on. Got some lag going, but anyway, next time everyone.
Hold on, I'm almost done.
Go have some fun shooting.